Hello, everyone, to the start of the round of 8 in the Nitro Cup Series playoffs. The first race of this round is Las Vegas. The next two races are Martinsville and Talladega. This race is 135 laps. Stages were 35, 35, 65, I believe. Um, we're a good chunk of below the cut line due to the playoff point. So it was gonna be pretty aggressive this race because I needed every point that I can get and try to win. Winning would be ideal. Um, just so you don't have to worry about Martinsville and Talladega. But this is a normal start here. Started P8. I knew my qualifying was bad, so was not surprised. I like Las Vegas. I think it's a cool track because there's like you can kind of make all the lanes work, and there's not like a. I think the bottom's the fastest, but you can still sometimes make the outside work. But you're just coming around for lap one, and not much happening. So just trying to get past Smoke here. He hasn't been here in a while, and cleared him for seventh here. And then Jonathan had a run down the bottom here on the inside, but I had the outside, so I got to run down the back. So cleared him for seventh place, and then stayed there for a couple laps. And here's us off turn three, and then Libert must have got loose or just really tight on the exit right there, and then hit the wall, and we were able to pass him going into the turn. Into turn one here, and then there were three wide in front of us, and that was um, kind of set the tone for the race because there was a lot of crazy racing in this race. This race was pretty wild. But yeah, drove out the lap six. We moved up to P5. Jonathan on my inside. Chafe is moved up into the top side, and then I get a nice run through the middle. A little bit too much of a run, and just didn't realize it would be that good, and got into Chafe a little bit, and then put him on the wall, and then Cameron and the 12 car was able to get to my inside, and we were three wide for a second there, but we were able to fight back and stay in fifth place, I believe. And it's just really tight racing here because you can run so many lanes. You can see the four different lines here on lap eight. The three wide for the lead. And I think the outside is probably the best lane when there's a lot of cars in it. But if you're alone, you want to be on the inside, I believe. So, and I'm just trying to I get a little tap of the wall there, but didn't really slow me down. I'm just trying to get a nice run on the outside, but me and Jonathan there had a little contact, and I get a little squirrely going into turn one, but able to hold on to it, and then Jonathan gets tight, and then we are able to go and clear myself for third here. And then lap 12 here, you can see I make a big move to the inside to try to pass Gary, but this does not quite work out, and I get taken three wide from Cameron and Jonathan down into turn two on the exit, and then I get loose, and then Bacon got, I think I caused that. So this ends up being a caution, and that will be our first caution of the race. Just needed to get a, so that's probably my fault, but I'm not entirely sure. I guess I got tight and stuff, but here we are for the start. And I just don't go. I'm caught sleeping, and not my best performance on a restart I've ever had, to say the least. Fall down to 6 from starting P4, so yeah, that was unfortunate. And then there's comeback gets a little slowed up in the middle, so that was a little unfortunate because I was trying to move out to the outside to get a run on his outside, but I get a run down the back on him, and then we are side by side entering the turn. And but nowhere really to go. That's the hard part. Like, you'd be faster than people, but like you'd get caught in this like wad of cars, and you're like, well, there's nowhere really to go. There was a lot of action in this race. You can see we're only on lap 19 at this point, a little over 4 minutes into the video, and the 20 and the 9 have a little contact. I slip my nose up above the 80 of Libert, and then I decided to go three wide on Gary and Jonathan, and we enter turn one three wide, and Libert gives me a teeny bit of contact, but I stay on the gas and we're okay, and then I'm going to get a run down the back, I believe, and we're able to carry that momentum of the high side down the back straight away, and we're able to move a little bit, but jump up a few laps, and you can see I've fallen actually down the fourth. And then here, Mahu's trying to slide up. I see that, so I'm trying to slide up, but I had a run on Jonathan. That was just a weird situation where I'm trying to move up to give Mahu room so he doesn't touch me, and then I'm getting a run on Jonathan there, and I just clip his rear bumper, and that just causes chaos. So we jump up to lap 24, and we're still in P4, and Bacon drives it in hard and slides up a teeny bit. He never touched me on his screen, but obviously there was definitely contact there. And then I'm going to end up falling down to P7 because Mahu was able to get the run on the outside and eventually just drive by me. So we're going to jump up the lap 28, and you can see me and Mahu have ran down Chafe and trying to run down the lead pack here of cars. And Mahu is able to get on Chaffe's outside here, and then I'm able to follow him as well. Chafe struggled a lot tonight. He just didn't have the vibe for the track, I guess. But we were able to get a good run down the back straightaway here on that outside. If you could pinch people, you can really make that outside work and get that pass done. And then I look to... Oh, oops. Cut out a weird time there. Lap 33, you can see we have now caught the lead pack here. And then there was a checkup for something, and then there's 3 wide in front of me. And this is important because stage points are going to be so important in this round. And then Cameron taps Jonathan up a little bit. I have to take advantage of this because I need stage points to help me for my playoff chances. I take it 3 wide. I drive it in very, very deep. And I'm actually surprisingly able to clear both of them there and move into P4. Coming to 2 to go in the stage, and I'm going to be defensive on the top. And then that was a weird bumper hook. When I touched Jonathan's bumper there, it just hooked me down. I just couldn't get off, and it was so bizarre. And then we enter turn 1 and 2, 3 wide, and I'm able to get the run down the back. And there's a little contact there, but but the car kind of stayed straight and happy, and we were able to move into P4 with a nice little gap here. And then we're gonna jump up to the last lap here and come to the stage checkers, and you can see we've caught the lead pack, but there's no time left. So we're gonna come home in stage 1 in P4. I felt pretty good with my speed, but I needed to make more adjustments to make the car a little bit faster. Yeah, but I was happy with the progress I made of the car in stage 1 so far. And then this start of this stage, I started P5 on the inside, and then pretty whatever start here. So this stage was pretty wild. Not much else to say about that. You'll see later, but Jonathan got a little tight there, but he's got all the draft help, so it's the inside just kind of gets beat down the straightaways pretty badly. But drive it in pretty deep and try to get a run. But the cold tires make it rough. You can see how cold the tires are and how fast they're raising up because they just don't have the grip right now. You need temperature and the tires to make the car turn, but the temperatures just aren't there yet. So just gotta give it a lap or 2. And you can see how much warmer the tires are right now. And then the 20 and the 9 there, Jonathan and Andrew have a little bit of contact, but Jonathan lets him go by because he felt bad about it. And then I'm able to capitalize on that and able to get a nice run here through the middle of the turn and clear Jonathan and move into P3. So I was feeling pretty good at this point. And yeah, this was a tricky race just because no one was able to really get away, and just the close racing here. And I go 3 wide on Andrew, and I'm like, oh, this is not good, not good. And then somehow we all got out of it, like, good. So I try to make a move on Andrew here, but nothing comes of it because I just tap the apron, and then that kind of just kills everything. And Jonathan's able to get around to the outside, and eventually he was going to get a run there, but I forgot the caution came out. This video is pretty long, and I kind of need to get it out, you know. So the restart here on lap 49. This stage ends on lap 70 when we hit lap 71. So Gary was actually the leader. He took the outside, so I decided to take the outside because I was like, all right, he's going to get a nice jump, and I might be able to jump him, but that didn't really happen, and Jonathan's actually able to clear me here, but he took a minute to close that hole. But then he slides up a little bit, and then we're 3 wide with me and Mahu and Jonathan here. And then we all keep it clean and tidy. I get a little loose, a little nudge there to Mahu, but nothing to write home about. That just kind of happens when you're 3 wide. And we're still 3 wide going into turn 1. It's the tight racing, and it gets a little tight on there, and I push Jonathan up a little bit. I felt kind of bad, and but we were able to move into P4 at this point. And then you can see I've fallen down to P5. Jonathan's able to get by me at some point. And then I tap Gary up a little bit. My bad. And then I see here like, oh, I'm clear, so I'm gonna clear myself. Not clear on his screen at all. I look excited to destroy him, but on my screen you can clearly see I was clear. But that's just the NASCAR Heat 5 experience, you know. But it didn't hurt Gary too much. He was able to get back to the front. And then lap 57 here, and I tapped the apron, but critically here is Andrew taps the wall, and this is like, oh, this is my chance. I hope Mahu can clear him, and get in there this turn pretty deep so I can clear him too. But he gets all in. He gets on the brakes or lets off the gas really early, and I hit him because I was just trying to see if there was going to be a gap that I could slide up in front of Andrew, but that just didn't work out, and I lose a ton of spots. And yeah, that's not. I didn't want to like hit Mahu. I was just hoping he'd drive it in harder and I could slide up in front of Andrew, but that just didn't work out like how I intended it to work out. So we're just trying to fight back here, and we were three wide on the exit there, but I'm able to move into P4 again and drive it in pretty hard. But move into P4 here, and then I was like, okay, we're back in this rate, back in the hunt again because it's so hard to pass people honestly here, but it's really fun. And then Andrew goes to look for a move and then slides up a little bit, pushes Mahu up the track, and then Gary's got to run. I got even a bigger run on Gary, and I'm pushing Gary, and I'm like, oh, I still got a run coming. And I'm like, I look to take it four wide, but I think better of it. But you can see I get off the gas there. I get a little unhappy, and then all sorts of hell breaks loose. And then Andrew has an issue and shoves Mahu off the track, and now I'm on the Gary and Jonathan. We are four wide down the backstretch, and somehow we're still four wide. Not the smartest move by anyone here. And also, no one decides to let up here. And then I decide to let up here a little there. But it was too late as Gary oversent the corner and Mahu got sent up. And Mahu was not the happiest camper at this point. And I don't blame him because the JGR boys were not racing him with much respect as much as he gives us most of the time. And I talked to Mahu, but like, I'm sorry, I raced like a dick in stage 2. So yeah, it was chaotic, and we still have like 8 laps to go. But lap 63, you can see I've fallen back a little bit. But I felt pretty good that we're going to be able to run these guys back down. And you can see here we're running them down. But yeah, so the draft was very powerful too when if you had it, and had a really good 1 and 2 there, and they actually able to clear Libert there. And then we're back in the hunt in the top 5. We got those stage points, and just right in the bottom here, trying to get the best run through the center of the turn as possible. And you can see Gary shoved Andrew out the track, and Mahu makes the 3 wide again. And I think we might have been 4 wide with Jonathan all the way up there. And this race, it was just chaos with like 4 to go left in the stage. And Mahu, I got into Mahu's bumper a little bit. I get the apron and I tap Andrew up the track a little bit, and that hits Gary into the wall as well, and that moves me into P2. And I'm gonna look to the outside here, and then I didn't realize how early Mahu gets on the gas, and I upset him. I don't really know how I upset him there with how this game works, but it happened, and I felt I just felt so bad because I was racing him like a dick, I guess you can say, and but and then Gary's really tight and hits it, get Mahu off the track, and I'm gonna try to fly through the middle here. Mahu goes up way high, and Connor in the 95 is just not able to get the run on the inside, and Gary's just a little too high there, I think, and trying to get the best run on the bottom here, but he's able to stick it on my outside. Coming to lap 69, 2 to go on the stage. Nice, by the way, right about now, so super nice right now. And so basically, it's on till the end, and I'm not really sure what happened if I hit him into there, but I'm gonna guess I netcoded him into the wall there, but I was able to get a run down the back in 1 and 2 to get on my inside, and then I'm fighting very hard for this because I'm trying to get all the stage points like I can at this point. So coming to the white flag of the stage, Mahu gets a nice run in 3 and 4, but I get a little bit of a run down the front stretch, and we are still pretty much even down the front stretch here, going into turn 1 and 2 for the final time in stage 2. I drive it in kind of deep, trying to pinch Mahu pretty hard, and he's sliding up the track, and I'm able to get the run on the outside down the back, and I'm actually able to clear Mahu midway down the back. So I'm going to dive it down into the bottom, driving it way harder, and I'm able to bring it home in P2 in stage 2 to get some critical stage points. So at this point, I felt like my car was really good, and felt like we had a car that was capable of winning the race at this point. Just needed to get into the lead and hopefully hold the lead. I felt like my car was really good on the long run, so I was like hoping if I could get the lead, I can hold in. If we get the long run, I'm able just to command the race. So I started P2 on the outside of stage 3 here, and this is a normal, pretty good restart. But get a nice run down the back. Not able to clear Mahu there, so I just go up really high to see if I can get a nice run off turn 4. Because on cold tires, the outside can, it doesn't need a, it's easier to turn. So on the high side there, but still even with Mahu at this point. Um, and then just trying to drive as hard as I can to try to get to the lead here, and able to get the run here and move into second by using the outside. And then lap 76, you can see I got on the outside of Andrew here, and I drive it in pretty hard, but Andrew drive it in even harder on the inside, which is going to bite him in, in the end because he gets really tight in the center, and I'm able to get to the lead. So at this point, I was hoping I just could command the race at this point. And I felt like my car was really good, but it turns out it was not as good as I thought, at least on the early run. I led about 2 or 3 laps, I think. So, mm, so you can see lap 77 here, but on lap 79, Andrew shows his nose on the outside. I was like, I'll stay on the bottom, but I got really, really tight at it off really hard there. And Andrew gets shoved up the track, I think, due to some net code, but he's able to keep the momentum going and get a run down the back straight away. And then I'm going to try to fight back here in 3 and 4 with all my might, but there was no ability to really fight. I was just too tight in the early run here to really make a play on the inside. I needed a really long run, and hopefully we could get one of those and get the lead then. But I continued to fall back a little bit on lap 84 here. You can see I'm fighting for P4, and me, Jonathan, and Cameron are 3 wide for this position. And then I get a little loose. I get slide out the track, and then yeah, that was really unfortunate. Master Killer in the 3 car got pretty much destroyed, and I lost all of my track position. Fell down to P9. And I was pretty worried at this point with how hard it is to pass here at Las Vegas at times. But I knew my car was pretty good, so I'm like, I need to stay calm, and I think I can still get a really good finish out of this, and maybe even win the race. I thought my car was that good. A few laps later, we were able to run down Chaffee in the 10 car and pass him, with very little trouble, and yeah. So around lap 87, that still means we have about 48 or 47 laps to go at this point. So we have plenty of time to make up ground, and you can see that at this point it gained 3/10 on the lead. Mahu is actually taking the lead and pulled away a bit, but I was trying with all my might to try to catch this lead pack, but it was just so close and so even. You can see like the gap hasn't really changed, and we basically skipped like 20 laps. But my fuel light's on. I see 1 lap, and I'm like, I'm gonna pit this time, and no one else does. I'm like, I think they're gonna run out of gas. So I'm like, this might work out really well for me because I'm like, there's no way they can go another lap, right? And turns out a lot of them did end up running out of gas. But not a lot of them. But and you can see Libert try to go an even extra lap, but ran out of gas and spun out because when you're out of gas, the car just like loses all control sometimes, and that just happens. But you're gonna see here, we're coming out. A lot of these guys were sputtering into the pit lane, so you can see how much time we've actually gained. We've passed Gary, who I think had a spin out, and Mahu also got like hit into pit road and spun out and lost the lead because of it. But you can see past the 95, and then you're gonna see we're gonna be right on the bumper of the 12 car of Cameron. So the undercut, I think worked out really well. Gained a ton of time, and you can see we moved into P5 and actually ended up in P4 after all said it was done and after everyone pitted and stuff. So I was stuck behind Cameron here for like 10, 15 laps. It felt like it was just rough. I was faster than him. I just could not find a way around him, and it was just so frustrating because I was faster. I'm like, man, I need to go, but I can't find a way around him, and everyone still has to make one more pit stop. So I knew there was time to make up ground, and maybe people would make a mistake. And you can see Jonathan made a mistake there off turn 2, got really tight and hit the wall. And then Cameron tries to go under him, and he's getting tight. And I'm like, you know what? I can't waste time. It's time to go. I take a 3 wide for a second at this point, and like I cannot waste time at this point if I want to try to catch Andrew. And Jonathan lets off early to try to get the crossover, and he does, and we are 3 wide off turn 2, and I'm just like, oh man, I need to get this job done and set sail because I think I can get away from these guys. But finally I was stuck behind Bacon for like 15 laps. It was so frustrating to be just a little bit faster at the start of the run there and just not be able to get it done. But he is still fighting very hard, and we are still side by side. And I'm just like, it's so frustrating when you're like, I know I'm faster, but I just can't get it done. And finally, on lap 113, with about 22 to 23 laps to go, we finally clear for second place, and we're going to try to run down Andrew. But it just turns out my car started falling off, and you can see on lap 121, Jonathan's able to get a run on me. I'm not really sure what happened to my car at this point. I thought it was better, but something's changed, and I was losing ground. And then I decided, like, all right, everyone's got to make one more stop in this race. I might as well um, not fall behind these guys because they can get racy and I could lose even more time. So I make the decision, you know what? I just lost all these spots. I'm going to pit right now. And there's no one behind me to interfere. So I'm like, I got this nice gap. I can just pit in secretly and try to get jump on everyone. I decided to take 2 tires and gas. And you can see Liberty even short pitted way more than me. But the issue with him, he didn't take enough gas to actually make it to the end. So he's actually going to end up having to pit again, unfortunately for him. Um, but everyone started coming in to the pits. And then we're just jumping up a little bit here and to lap 127. So Gary and Jonathan risked it by taking no tires. I thought about it very hard about doing it. I was like, man, it's so close to make it. But the right rear was the one that was where you needed to be worried about. It was so close. I didn't want to risk it in my situation. I'm like, I'm going to get a good point stay here. And then me and Cameron battling at it again here. And I was able to run him down, and I'm going to go into turn 1 and 2 here, driving it pretty hard, a little too hard. And I'm sliding up the track, getting tight, not able to carry the speed off the exit. But Cameron gets really loose, and he kind of ping pongs and gets in the wall. So, and here we are coming to, and this is the white flag, and Gary's nursing his tires home. He's like at 2 to 1% right now, and I'm like hoping it pops because I can get in an extra point, you know. But Gary's tire will survive, and Jonathan will risky strategy will pay off, and he will advance to the final four as the first driver to lock himself in, and we bring it home P4 in Vegas. I was pretty happy with the result because last season I really struggled at this race, and P4 was probably where I think, thinking about everything, is probably where we should have ended up anyway. So it was a good run, gained some points on the cutoff going into Martinsville, where I've historically struggled mightily in NASCAR, Heat 4 and 5 at least. And I'm gonna have to do some work to get better there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Nitro Cup series. And if you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, follow, subscribe. You can watch these cup races and all the Nitro races on my Twitch channel, which is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.